Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus, Core PPI. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Looking to see if there's any news. I don't know if it was earnings. I can't believe it was. I can't believe it was earnings from Citibank. They're not due until 8. Something must have been announced. Not seeing
Shortly
anything yet.
expecting Citigroup's earnings.
Waiting on Citibank's earnings. We don't usually trade them. They don't usually do much.
Citigroup earnings coming through. Wealth revenue $3.07 billion.
Okay,
A
their
beat on
earnings are
estimates of
coming out early.
$2.23 billion.
Coming out
EPS
early.
$3.06. Beat on estimates of $2.60. Markets revenue $7.25 billion. Beat on estimates of $6.76 billion. Revenue
Looks like their
$24.63
earnings are
billion.
early. Not really
Beat on
sure
estimates of $23
what
billion.
caused that
Total cost
burst
of credit $2.81
at the
billion.
moment.
Beat on estimates of $2.63 billion. Investment banking revenue $1.33 billion. Operating expense $14.31 billion. Banking revenue $1.77 billion. A miss on
Yeah, all the
estimates of
markets moved.
$2.14 billion.
Something must have been announced
FICC
somewhere,
sales and trading revenue
but I don't see anything at the
$5.17
moment.
billion. Beat on estimates of
At the moment,
$5.02 billion.
not seeing anything.
Total deposits $1.45 trillion. Total loans
All right.
$761.62 billion. Beaten estimates of
So anyway, we're here for
$752.86 billion.
PPI this morning.
Equity sales and
So
trading
let's
revenue
go over
$2.08 billion.
PPI.
Beaten estimates of $1.73 billion.
And at 8:15, we do have the ADP weekly report. We really haven't been doing anything with that, and it seems to have ruined the regular monthly report. So I guess they don't care. They're going to keep releasing those weekly reports. Just watching the market. I'm going to go back to gold at the moment. Pretty much all markets have just had a move. And like I said, I'm not seeing any news related to it. Nothing. Nothing at all. So it's calmed down. Back to normal, it seems. So let's talk a minute about PPI. Take a look at our DMM. So we have a new setup on it that has been looking interesting in testing. The ES has had good moves on PPI. I think I'm going to stick with RTY. The gold trap, I'll trade the gold trap in a prop account, but that's an ultra risk. Um, and the reason that's extra risk is if you look at the spike sheet, I'll show you the spike sheets. Give me a second. So what's a spike sheet? A spike sheet is one of the ways we do our testing. We look at the spike every month at the moment of the news. All right, that's what a spike sheet is. So if we look at our gold spike sheet, we had 101 tick spike in March, 135 in February. That would have blown us out of the PPI. But most of the rest since August have been decent, decent traps. Not
S&P shares
unbelievable,
rose
but
1%
decent.
pre-market after Q1 results.
They were better when the moves were smaller, but the markets are not those markets anymore. So I will trade. I will trade the trap in a prop account. Um, I'm just trying to think, and I'll trade it in a prop account that I like. I'll trade it in 35. See if we can get that eval passed. All right. RTY. Now, PPI is it's a risky report, but RTY has behaved pretty well on this report. Looking at the spike sheet, the big issue with RTY is it's had a couple of moves that didn't move, November and January. But most of the other months have been very good. Okay. They've been very good. 80 ticks last month, 60 the month before. So I think I'm going to shrink the stop a little bit, go to 30 on the stop on RTY.
We're seeing here sources
But so I
saying
will
November was
trade a
cautious
trap.
on
I'll
the
put a
strategic to
reverse
avoid key
continue
earnings
on a
talks.
gold chart. Reverse continue. So we'll put a reverse continue on the chart. One position, a target of 30, a stop of 30, and we'll call it GC reverse continue. And I'm going to trade gold, like I said, in account 35, number 35. Apply it and OK. I'm going to throw, so here's my trap trade. Right click, trap trade. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. We trigger at 8:29:55. The stop is 30. The stop is 30. And by the way, that Flyers game last night, it was one of the greatest hockey games I ever saw in my life, in my whole life. The Flyers were losing 2-0 in the first quarter. The second quarter, they tie up the game. There's no more goals for the whole game. They go to overtime, no goals. They go to a shootout, 4 shots each team, nobody scores. And they finally win it on the fifth guy. It was a spectacular, spectacular hockey game. Flyers make the playoffs. I think it's been 25 years. All right, 30 on our stop. So 8:29:55 on the breakout, on the activation. Tier 1, 55. Tier 2 is 100. I don't think we're going to get as big a move as we've been getting on this report. I just don't think it's going to be as meaningful. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking not as big today. Not as big. I think the news is going to be poor. Okay? I think we're going to be looking at poor news. PPI up. All right? Prices are up. Everything's up. The cost of everything is up. The world's a mess. You know, basically, we have no government. We have a one party system now. So everything's a mess. There's no question. The world's on fire. Although maybe it's calming down right now. Maybe. Maybe. I think I know what just caused that move. Iran weighs pausing its Hormuz shipping to avoid derailing talks. So there are new talks in the war coming up in a couple of days. That's what it looks like. So, so we have a trap trade ready to go. I was thinking of putting a magnet on. I'll put a magnet on also. Magnet strategy, high of day, low of day. One position. Standard target, not changing anything. Stop of 40. It is gold. It is expensive. Everything default. Program your buttons. What I'm going to probably do is have the programmer change the defaults so the buttons are automatically programmed for a one position trade. I think he'll probably do it for free for me. So ARS management. Position 1 is a 1. Target 1 is 30. And the stop is 30. That programs the ARS enter now button as a one position trade. Target of 30, stop of 30. Reverse continue inside the magnet. Position 1 is a 1. The stop 35. Target 35. So the reverse continue inside the magnet programmed as a one position trade. One contract. GC labeled the magnet. GC magnet. And our gold setups are on the same account number 35. All right, now I'm very curious about the ES and about whether our ES setup works, but I am going to trade the RTY. So the first thing I'm going to do is put an RTY reverse continue on the chart. One position, 35 target, 35 stop. Label it RTY, reverse continue. All right. And I have to make a decision. Where am I going to trade this? Where do I want to trade this?
So reminder, 8:50
I'm going to
GMT.
trade
I'm expecting
this in
USHB
my
European
prop
dollar to reach a high of
account.
26k.
Bear with me. Prop account number. I guess I'll work on 40 today. We'll put it in 40. I'm trading my market opens in the funded accounts because that's what's been working well. So we're going to trade this RTY breakout. I'm tempted to do it in one of the funded accounts. I can trade it in 67. It's been a good behaving report overall. So I guess I'll do it. in 67. That is a funded account, RTY. So first thing I'm setting up is the RTY reverse continue. Okay. One position, target of 35, stop of 35, and it's labeled RTY reverse continue in 67. Let me put on my gold trades. Then we have a RTY breakout. News trader breakout. 829.58 is the trigger.
1 minute remaining.
Let's take a break for a second. Looking at gold, just watching gold right now for that 815. Watching the 815 ADP. That's all we're watching.
Seeing a EU draft document shows plan to ease energy price crisis.
Just watching to see what kind of move is there at 815.
10 seconds.
Here's the ADP news.
39.25k, 39.25k.
92 was where the price was at the moment of the news. 92. Down 10 ticks. Down 16 ticks. I would have used at least a 15 or 20 bracket on it. So we wouldn't really be filled at the moment. Leaning short. It would have gotten filled short. It may be that we're just going to have to trade that ADP weekly, although I just don't think it's returned. Now, today it worked. Today it worked. All right, you could see it. Today it was at 92 and it got down to 88. So it could have worked with a 20 bracket. All right, with a 20 bracket. So that's what I've been thinking we would trade it. That's the way I was thinking we would trade it, with a 20 bracket. So going forward, I'll mark the journal. Today, it would have worked. Is it a favorite report? Not at all. Not at all. Because it's been problematic where it just hasn't worked that great every time, right? But sometimes it works. So you have to decide what you're willing to risk on it. So that was probably good for about 20 ticks. Possible 20 ticks out of that. So keep that in mind. All right. Back to RTY setup. So we were setting up our RTY breakout. Highlight it. 829.58. The bracket's 20. It's showing 25 today. I'm using a 20. I'm going to use a 20. Bracket of 20. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is 20. Target 2 is 45. If it hits my first target with target 1 stop move, I'll go to break even, and my stop is 30. Stop is 30. We're going to put the time on 0 and test our bracket, and we're going to go to optional and turn off the vertical line. Uncheck the vertical line. Apply it. Label it before you apply it, sorry. RTY breakout. Leave it on sim for a minute. And we're going to look at our breakout. Did I put the time on 0? I thought I did. Now remember, you don't get any movement until the
Order
price
submitted.
moves. Okay, I like the bracket. I wish we weren't so close to
Order
the high,
canceled.
but we've just been making new highs. So highlight the breakout, put the time back to 8:29:58. 8:29:58. Stop of 30 on the RTY, and target one stop move break even. Targets of 20 and 45 with a bracket of 20. Bracket of 20. Trading it in a funded account, 67. Putting chart trader on 67, and our RTY is ready to go. All right. Now, ES. The testing looked interesting. So we have a chart. I think I can even fit the news
8:30
in.
a.m. Eastern Time, we're expecting the US PPI for March. Year-on-year forecast 4.6%, prior 3.4%, with a range of 5.9% to 4%. Month-on-month forecast 1.1%, prior 0.7%, with a range of 2.3% to
So it's an ES
0.3%. Full
breakout,
year-on-year forecast 4.1%, prior 3.9%, with a range of 4.4%
0626.
to 3.9%.
I'm just going
For
to sim
month-on-month
the
forecast
ES, okay?
0.4%,
I
prior
can't
0.5%,
trade
with a
three
range of
setups
0.7%
personally.
to
You can't manage
0.9%.
them. So I'm just going to sim the ES. Yes, I'm using a stop of 30. Stop of 30. Good morning, Graybeard. Graybeard is our regular internet member who speaks to us on the streams. So good morning, Graybeard. Who are you? Do I know you? I'm curious who you are. What's your real name? If you want to tell the whole world. All right, we're on the ES. I'm not putting anything except our breakout on it. 8:29:58. Now, full transparency, Chantal helps with the testing and does the bulk of the testing. She believes you can use a 10 bracket on the ES. I cannot believe that a 10 bracket would be safe on a PPI report. But the last three, let me say this, the last two, a 10 bracket, 100% were safe. I think it was even the last three. But I'm going to use 15 because it's going to move enough that those 5 extra ticks give me a little bit more safety. But Chantal believes a bracket of 10 is okay. And let me show you the spike sheet. The ES is not nearly as good as other instruments. I don't know why she likes the ES so much on this report. It's had 3 good ones and a lot of whipsaws in the past. So I'll test it today, but I'm not trading it. I recommend we just watch it today. Let's see how it behaves. We've got the RTY, which has been behaving well. We have a gold trap, which is crazy risky, but crazy possibilities. So that's how I would do it. RTY, would I do the RTY live? So I would. I think PPI reports are risky, but RTY has been trading pretty good on it. So, I'm only not trading it in my best funded account because I just want to stay with what's working. on my best funded account because I'm so close to asking for a payout. I don't want to do anything out of the ordinary on my best funded account, but I am trading it on a funded account. So if I had a live account with a decent amount of money in it, I would trade the RTY in it. I would. Okay. I think it's been performing well enough. Would I trade the gold trap? Only if I had a real lot of money in an account, like 50,000. Because you could easily lose 1,000 on a gold trap. 829.58. Because you may have to make the stop bigger. 15 on the bracket for the ES. And like I said, I'm just testing the ES. I don't think it's a great choice yet. There's been too many inconsistencies in the past. Target is 10. The only thing going for the ES is the ES has been trading way better on news lately than it had been in a long time. Okay, 20 on the stop. So we have a target of 10, target of 25, 20 on the stop. Break even on the target one stop move. I'll test the bracket because I'm not going to watch it. We'll talk about it after the news. We'll label it ES breakout, and I'm trading it on Sim. I'm not even trading it on a prop. And it's not that it's because it's so untested.
If I miss time,
Order
expect the euro
submitted.
There's
yen
no
forecast
harm
March. Euro and yen
Order
in
forecast
canceled.
spot 6
trading on a
3%, prior
sim
free spot 4%,
because
spot
I've got
PPI
two other
4%,
trades I
spot
have to
3%,
manage.
prior 0 spot
I
7%,
can't manage
call
it
option
anyway, in all
4% 0 spot
honesty.
1%, prior free spot 2%,
Optional, I am
call option
turning
yen
off the
forecast 0
vertical
spot
line.
4%, prior
All
0 spot
right,
5%.
apply it, okay it. You know, we could get a breakout for all where everything will break out nicely. That happens. 829.58, bracket of 15. Right, margins are up for cash accounts, although I didn't see any emails about margins being up today. But I didn't look at my email this morning. I want to warn everyone about that. 10 and 25 on the targets, 20 on the stop. So ES, just doing a sim on it. All right. I do think the PPI is going to be way up, or at least not way up, but up, worse than expected. That's what I think. But I'm going to be concentrating on the trap trade, which is a lot of potential money, and the RTY because it's funded. Okay? RTY is funded. Now, the markets are
Here's some weakness in
moving.
WTI crude.
So there might be
Nothing much
more
right now.
news.
We'll keep looking.
Looking for news. We're looking for news. Markets are moving on news that is unspoken at the moment. The last PPI, two PPIs ago, was the market was so volatile that it shouldn't have been traded. The market was so volatile. Okay, James, thanks for telling me who you are. Appreciate that. Well, James, we've had a price increase, but I will give you our sale price if you want to join and come in the trade room. I'll give you a one-time deal since you're new. All you have to do is send me an email if you're interested. I'll throw the email up for you. Here's the email. If you want to take me up on that, shoot me an email. All right, everyone. Let's get our clock back. The market's gotten a little bit quieter now. The market's gotten a little quieter. We do have a webinar scheduled for Thursday. Gonna call it Opens and Earnings. That's the webinar Thursday. Opens and Earnings. Two of my favorite subjects because we're in the height of earnings season next week. And market opens have been very effective.
1 minute remaining.
1
What are
minute to
your
go.
US PPI year on year?
1 minute to go. 5 seconds before the news, my gold chart will put orders on the chart. Good morning, Chantal.
Ten seconds.
All right, 5 seconds. Orders are going to show up,
Order submitted.
shrinking them down a little bit so I could
Order
manage the
submitted.
trade.
Order submitted.
4%, 4%, lower than forecast, 4.6%. US PPI month on month, 0.5%, 0.5%, lower than forecast, 1.1%.
RTY did
year
not
on year,
fill my
PPI
orders.
3.8%, lower
It
than
didn't
forecast,
fill the
4.8%.
orders, and now
US
it's going to
PPI month
stop
on month,
out.
0.1%, 0.1%,
And
lower
now
than
it's going to
forecast,
stop out
0.4%.
because it didn't fill the orders. And that I couldn't get my order in the right
60%
spot
against the
at the
PPI
right
500.
time either. I'm really ticked. Really ticked. Gold trap looks a little big. Looks a little big.
Order filled.
ES was no good. And the
Order
stinking
filled.
RTY went through both orders and didn't fill them. It went through both orders and didn't fill them. That nothing makes me angrier than that. Nothing.
Being prioritized for
That's
US
just
PPI
not
month on month,
fair.
0.5%, 0.5%.
Gold,
Original
we
price
just, our
0.7%.
tiers were too big. The tiers were too big, so you have to cancel. You have to cancel the
Lithium
gold
prior revised for
trap.
US core
You
PPI
got to
month on month,
cancel the gold
0.3%,
trap.
0.3% compared to the original prior
It's more than a
0.5%.
minute. We're not trade. I don't really want to be filled short,
Order canceled.
although it'll probably work because there's a lot of chop. It'll probably work. It'll probably work.
Seeing prior
The
revised US core
RTY,
PPI
I
year
would
on year,
take
3.8%,
a second
3.8% compared
trade
to the
if
original
I
prior
thought it was going to
3.9%.
move down and give us a test of the low, but it's too close to the high. I mean, but it failed to the high side. The news is better than expected, it looks like. The news is better than expected, and the RTY did not fill my targets. It hit both targets. If that doesn't tick you off, nothing will. Nothing will. Nothing. Now, in theory, a gold short here would be the trap trade getting filled to the short side. But gold's up over 27 bucks. You have a bursting momentum to the upside. I'm not going to scalp anything now. I'm going to take my trade and I'm just going to work it at the open. That's all. I'm not going to do anything stupid.
We have posted the US PPI March
I'm not
2022
going to do
full
anything
summary feed for
stupid.
those interested.
I don't see a good scalp opportunity right now. I just don't see it. I don't see it. But it is extremely
Treasury steady
aggravating
after PPI
that the
gorgeous
setup was
rise,
good
less
and the
interest
orders
rate.
didn't fill. The orders didn't fill.
Excuse me, Treasury steady after PPI gauges rise, less
Now that
interest
could
rate.
happen in cash also. I'm not going to blame that on typical crappy data feeds from prop accounts because that kind of a move very fast could do the same thing in a cash account. It really could. So you can't blame that on necessarily the data feeds. More, it's just bad luck of the fills. So that's how I have to leave it. That's how I have to leave it. All right. I'm laughing at something else. Nothing to do with trading. My son sent me a text. We're baseball fanatics, and Craig Kimbrell's on the Mets. That cannot be possible. That can't be true. Hang on a second. Is that really true that he's on the Mets? He's the pitcher that blew a whole season for the Phillies a couple of years ago because the manager's a complete buffoon. The worst manager. Blew 2 seasons already. Notice that our ES was no good, okay? The setup was no good. Let's look at the video. Let's look at the video and see why the market ripped us off today. Every now and then you feel ripped off by the market. Today's one of those days. I feel ripped by the market. Let me show you why. Most of the time, I don't complain like a baby. I take my hits like a grown up. But today, the market ripped us off. Let me show you why. Yep, it might have been a whip. Whip for everything. Let's see how fast it was. See if we can complain or not. All right. This will tell us, because I didn't watch the RTY. I was watching gold. So I didn't see the move. But I could have saved it. And I physically mismanaged the stop. Or I could have protected the loss. Okay, here's what happened. Watch the RTY. It goes through the orders and doesn't fill them. So we want to see how fast of a move it was. Okay, you can't have much faster of a move. But then I had an opportunity. See, I had an opportunity and I got my stop too close to the current price. So it wouldn't let me move the stop and then party over. Party over. And then look at the ES. Let's watch the ES. It was very, very, very fast move. Too fast to get good fills. The ES was a nick fill with that 15. Nope, it went more than 15 ticks. It went plenty above that. So the ES also did a quick reverse for a loser. Glad we just tested the ES. And then gold, it just didn't get to our our first tier. And we were only using like 55. So 47.96.50. If you waited 7 minutes, it would have worked. We wouldn't have waited this long. So I'm not going to cry that it was a trap trade that worked. We would not normally have waited this long. Okay? Now, it would have filled 5 minutes later. 5 minutes. We would not normally have waited this long. Okay? So you can't cry about the trap. Not going to try about the crap. The crap. The trap. The trap wasn't crap. It just was too small. Too big, I mean. The tiers were too big. There was nothing wrong with our RTY setup. It just, the market couldn't handle the speed and it couldn't fill the orders. That happens and that'll happen again. It is the way it is. We didn't do anything wrong. All right. The news was better than expected. We don't really care. We're just trading the reaction. My feelings about what the news is going to be doesn't matter because I'm not trading it the way I feel. I'm trading our setup. Okay? I'm trading our setup. trading our setup. Now gold is right in the middle of the highs and the lows. This time of day, we don't normally stay on gold. We go to YM in the middle and we go to oil. All right. So PPI just a little bit smaller than normal. That's all. And very whippy. Very whippy today. Let's create a new video for the open. But I'm aggravated. I don't like when I lose money because I was acting like my fingers weren't working properly. I could have saved that trade. That bothers me more than the fact that the market didn't fill us. I could have saved it from a loss, and I just didn't physically do it properly. That's all. That's why, and you know how many trades I've practiced? Nobody could practice as many trades as I've practiced over the years. It's not possible. So it's not even a question of practice. It's just a question of my hands just didn't do it. And that'll happen too. You have to forgive yourself and move on. So that's what I'll do. I'll
Wells
move
Fargo
on.
extends decline to a session low, 3.1% after earnings.
All right, let's get ready. We'll do the new video. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus Oil Open and the U.S. Market Open. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right, so what's aggravating is I used a funded account on that RTY. Now, it hasn't been damaged terribly, but, you know, it's been hurt. It's been hurt a little bit. So we're going to work on that this morning, see if we can get it back. See if we can get some of that back. Not with oil. Not with oil. Right now we're getting VWAP signals because gold, right now it's just trading around the VWAP at the moment. All right. So we're going to stay on YouTube for a while. What we got going now is the market open. So, you know, we've had interesting earnings. We made money this morning on earnings. But now we have the question of what are you going to do with oil? The oil open. Let's go over to the oil chart. I'll put the YM in the middle. YM 0626. Let's put our magnet on the YM. High of day, low of day. One position for a -3. Position number 2 for 10 ticks. And our stop is 40. So that's our YM magnet at the moment. And we could program our ARS management. One position, target of 35, stop of 35. reverse continue, one position, same thing, 35 and 35. Label it YM magnet. And we'll try to make this money back this morning on the YM account 67. All right, so we have our magnet YM, high of day, low of day. I'm not ready to trade this early. It's a little bit early. A little bit early. Let's see if there's what kind of movement there is. There's a lot of VWAP consolidation you can see other than the news. YM had that same whip that the RTY had, it looks like. All right. Now, we were on GC on the left. We're going to oil, CL. Oil is CL 0526. Oil's down $3. Oil's down $3. Every day we come in and oil's up 5, down 3, up 7, down 2. Not easy to trade oil in these markets. These are not your mother's old-fashioned markets. Put a reverse continue on the RTY for the market open. One position, 35 target, 35 stop. Label it RTY, reverse continue, and the account is our funded account that we've been trading the RTY on. All right, so RTY, we have our reverse continue. Now, on oil. Wow, my computer's very hot. But, I've been saying that for 2 years. So looking at oil on a 15-minute chart, oil is a pretty tight range, choppy mess, right? It's been up, it's been down, it's been over, it's been out. Last night, let's go to a 20-minute chart, 30. So it opened, you could see yesterday late it really sold off, right? Yesterday during the day it sold off. Pretty bearish. I would say it's bearish again, obviously. And it's in a tight range for oil. $3 is a tight range for oil right now. So I'm expecting, I think, more downward movement, it looks like, if peace talks continue to move forward in any kind of positive way. All right. So right now we have a gold magnet. We can convert that to an oil magnet, highlight the magnet, make the stop 25 instead of 40, and just one position, default -3 ticks. So we could just leave gold and then programming our buttons, the reverse continue, 25 ticks and 25 ticks on the target. And then the ARS management buttons, I'll do the same. 25 ticks on the target, 25 on the stop. So Label your gold magnet CL magnet now. And oil, I'll trade just in a run-of-the-mill prop account. We'll trade it in number 40. And for the moment, I'll put high of day, low of day on. All right, so apply it, okay it, turn it on. Not trading any entries at the moment. All right. Is it going to make a new low right now? Oil? We did have a GC reverse continue programmed on this chart also. We could turn it into an oil reverse continue. We could also remove the trap trade. Target 25 ticks, stop 25 ticks. Change the account to 40. Label it CL reverse continue. And now our oil reverse continue is ready to go. Am I dying to jump in before the open to take a scalp? No. I'm not even going to trade the magnet, so I'm turning the
Friday,
orders
9 a.m. Eastern
off.
Time, we're expecting IMS press conference and Treasury Secretary Bessent speaking at the IIF. We do have videos located in the calendar. We'll put them on the feed shortly.
We'll put our oil breakout, which has not
Ship
been
testing US Hormuz blockade appears to a U-turn.
a very good trade. Okay? Has not been a very good trade. That's why I'm just trading it in a run-of-the-mill account, nothing special. We'll add the breakout. I'll go to the template and find my oil open. Breakout template, oil new open is what it's called. Yesterday we canceled the trade. There was no move. I'll right click it and date it today. Today's the 14th. $8.59.59 is the trigger, a 15 bracket. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Target of 8, target of 20, a stop of 25. Target 1 stop move is break even. Leaving it on sim for the moment. It's labeled CL breakout open. Put the charts on sim for the moment. We want to see what our bracket looks like for trade management.
Order submitted. Order
It's a
canceled.
little tight.
Order submitted.
That's better.
Order canceled.
Right click, highlight the breakout. Notice it was a smart choice not to jump into a short. Highlight the breakout. Back to the correct time. 8:59.59 with a bracket of 15. Targets of 8 and 20. Stop of 25. Going to go to the stop of 20. Change the account to number 40 on the breakout. And let's see what happens on the oil open. Okay. So, Gray, the one thing I'd say is 95 is pretty far away, though. It's like 95 ticks. Although in this market, that may not be as far away as you think. All right, let's put our chart on the correct trading chart, which
Surely
is
expect to grow
40.
Red Book year on year.
The red book is coming out. Interesting how the red book never moves the market. In all the years that we've been trading, we've never traded the red book ever. The red book just doesn't move the market. It just doesn't. All right, so we're just waiting for the open. All right, folks. I think ultimately we are going to get a
Reminder in 5
possible
minutes' time, we're expecting the IMF press
test
conference
of the
and
low
Treasury Secretary Bessent speaking at the IIF. The videos are on
on
the
oil.
feed for those interested.
Besant seems to be, I don't know if he's talking or it's recorded. He's a fan favorite, isn't he? All right. We're just waiting for the oil open. We have 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go. Markets are kind of pretty quiet other than when there's a comment made. You could see the YM and the RTY are just hanging out, not really doing much. We do have a range trade for the RTY for the open. Click on News Trader. I'm going to load my template, load it, look for the RTY range. Start the range 925.00, 6 ticks above, 6 ticks below. Show the graphics, show the range graphics, gets checked. Up to the top, make sure it says range trade. Activate the range, end at 9:30.00. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 10, target 2 is 20, stop is 35, target 1 stop movement is break even, and that's also in the funded account, same as the reverse continue. Make sure the chart trader is on 66. 77 Sunset Strip. I don't know why the number 66 makes me think of that old TV show. 77 Sunset Strip. I was kind of sad today. I did not know, and maybe it makes me pretty stupid. I watch a lot of comedians. I love comedians. I didn't know that Mitch Hedberg had died. He was a very funny comedian who died a long time ago, drug overdose, apparently. He was really funny. And I just read that he died. He was like, I think he was in his 30s. but he was very funny. For some reason, a lot of his clips have been coming my way. Letterman show stuff. Very funny guy. I was sad to see that he passed away so young. Anybody ever heard of him? Mitch Hedberg?
Surely expecting comments on the IMF press conference
All
from
right, 1 minute
Secretary Besant.
till the breakout. We'll get our breakout. Nitin, you've heard of him?
US effective
I
federal
like
funds rate
comedians.
unchanged at 3.64%.
I also think comedians should be allowed to say whatever they want. It's comedy. It's a joke. You don't get canceled if you're a comedian. That's my personal opinion. You shouldn't get canceled. You should just get beat up. All right, we got the breakout coming. The breakout coming on oil. I'd like to see a breakout short go all the way to the low.
Order submitted.
That's what I'd like to see. I'm not dying to get filled long.
Order submitted.
Filled me long,
The
and it's
IMF
going to
says
stop
severe
us out.
scenario of extended conflict, financial
That'd be
markets
my guess.
dislocation, and growth falls to 2%, a close call for a global
Now it filled
recession.
long and missed
Severe
the
scenario
target by
assumes oil
2
price
ticks.
average of
It's only an
$110 per
8
barrel in
tick target. It's
2026
not a
and
very big target.
$125 in 2027 versus $82 a
Now
barrel in
I might
2026
take
under
my
reference
stop
scenario.
and
IMF
just put
issued
it
all
below
country
the
forecast
wick.
under reference scenario, which
It
assumes
may not
2026
matter.
global
It may
inflation
not
of
matter.
4.4% versus 3.8% in January.
It may
IMF
not matter.
forecast India growth at 6.5% for 2026
If I was
and
trading this in
2027 versus
cash, I
0.7%
would shrink my
in
orders
January on
probably.
strong momentum and lower US
If
tariffs.
it hits my first
IMF chief
target,
economist
we're going to
Parag
go
Sheth
to
says
break
severe scenario
even.
will put some economies
But it's
into
going to
outright
struggle
recessions, with global
to go
inflation
up
above 6%
because
and inflation
it's so
expected to peak
negative.
after
We're
September.
down $3
IMF forecast
on oil.
2026
I
China
did
growth
not
of
really want to be filled
4.4%
short.
versus 4.5%
Did
in
not want to be
January
filled
and
short.
4% for 2027, unchanged from January.
Yeah,
IMF
the
forecast
IMF
2026
can
euro
be
area growth
interfering,
of
definitely.
1.1%
It's possible.
versus 1.3% in January forecast and
It's
1.3%
possible.
for 2027 versus 1.4% in January.
I wouldn't have
IMF
traded this in
forecast
cash.
2026
So,
Middle East and
trading in a
Central Asia
prop
growth at
account,
1.9%
it's like
versus
funny money. I
3.9% in
didn't trade
January,
it in a funded
4.6% in
account.
Order filled.
2027 versus 4% in
It's
January.
this
IMF
trade I've
Saudi
told you
Arabia
all doesn't
2026
work,
GDP growth
and
estimate
it
to
didn't work
3.1%
again.
from 4.5%.
I
IMF cuts
may
Germany's economic outlook and
honestly
forecast to 0.8%
just
in
not
2026
bother
and
anymore
1.2%
with
in
oil.
2027,
It's
down
just
from
not worth the effort.
1.1% and
It just
1.5%
makes
in
me look
January.
bad.
IMF slashes
That's the
GDP
truth.
growth
It
forecast for
just
Middle
makes me
East and
look
North
bad.
Africa region to
I don't
1.1%
want to
and
look bad because
3.9%
then people
due to
won't
impact
join,
of Iran war.
right?
IMF forecast 2026 UK growth of 0.8% versus 1.3% in January forecast, 1.3% for 2027 versus 1.5% in January. IMF forecast German inflation to rise to 2.7% in 2026 from 2.3% in 2025.
There's a lot of news coming over the wire about inflation being up.
The ECB settled 1.776 trillion of public sector bond purchases and ECB bond holdings under PEP 1.36 trillion as of last week. The ECB settled 235 billion euros of corporate bond purchases.
I'm just watching for a
US
second,
repo
folks.
year on year
That's all I'm doing.
7%.
Just watching for a minute.
We have posted the IMF World Economic Outlook for April 2026.
So, no question that the IMF, International Monetary Fund, probably interfered with that oil
ECB
trade.
says forex reserves rose 100 million euros to 340.2 billion euros.
I still think, I still say oil's going to
Order
test the
submitted.
low. That's what I say. I made all my money back this morning. Put my stop above all the market behavior from the open, and I'll stay 5 to 7 minutes to see if we can get some of this money back. or do some serious damage to a prop account that really doesn't matter at the moment. Let's see what happens. Let's say you think you got it right and you want to add a contract to an existing trade. How do you do that? The strategy's always running, already running. What if you absolutely wanted to add another contract? You can do it. You could sell at the market on the chart trader and then update your orders on the Ninja chart trading. That you can do. You can do that. I was going to do it, but now with this big change in the candle, I'm not that interested in taking an extra contract short, although I still think the market's going to test the short. I really do. But sometimes my thinking doesn't work out with a scalp. So right now it ain't working. It isn't working. Yes, we've looked at the trap. We've looked at the trap, and we're not done. We haven't given up on oil at 9 o'clock. We have not given up on it. It's a very good idea, Madricky. We have looked at it for real. So this scalp looks like it's not going to work. It really is insane on some levels if you think about it. Trading prop accounts. No, they do not, Arthur. They do not update automatically. That's not true. You have to update your buys and sell stops. They don't automatically do it. I swear. Just our whole setup on the oil open stinks, to be honest. It's just
Order filled.
a crappy setup. The breakout doesn't work, all right? It does not work. It does not work. All right, let's get rid of oil. Get rid of oil. And it does make me look bad. So I don't know what I'm going to do with oil going forward next week. This week, the schedule's already in. I'm not going to probably change it, but I'm probably done with oil unless we come up with something better. Unless we come up with something better. And we're trying. We've really looked at it more than once. More than
So Bethan
once.
is arriving on the stage now. A reminder, a live video is on the feed for those interested.
Me personally cannot listen to Scott Bessent. I cannot. Cannot listen to that guy talk. Without getting physically sick. All right. What do we got going? Let's put our oil chart. Let's get rid of our oil charts. And we'll go to MNQ 0626. So we've got our work cut out for us this morning. We need to make up $300 in our funded account that the YM is trading on. All right. YM is trading funded, and the PPI did us dirty by not filling our orders. Okay. So YM, normal trading YM open, already set it up. Let me go over the YM for
All
everyone.
bond shares quickly extend drop down 2.6%.
So the YM, we have a high of day, low of day magnet set up. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is -3. That's default. Target 2 is 10 ticks. That means if it hits the high or the low, it'll fill 10 ticks through past it. The stop currently is 40. I've programmed the ARS button. Position 1 is a 1. Target 1 is 35. The stop is 35. I programmed the reverse continue button. Position 1 is a 1. Stop is 35. Target
The
35.
IEA head Birrell says remaining 80% of the
YM
global
magnet
inventories
is
of most core
labeled,
stocks
and
could be
I'm
tapped
on
when
my
needed.
67 funded account. Apply it and OK it. I will also,
Bessent says the US agenda for the G20 this year is growth.
my YM fill is above 20 if it goes to the upside, below 60 if it fills to the downside. RTY, we have a reverse continuation set up. One target, one position, 35 target, 35 stop. RTY is labeled. RTY reverse continue. And I'm in my funded account, different funded account. Apply it and OK it. So our RTY reverse continue is set up, and we have an RTY range trade. I'm
Rossitov
turning
head
the
McKinsey
YM on
says that
auto.
there are 20 people
If it
left that own
decides
multiple
to make a
shares in
new high,
Paynet, including
I'll
engineers.
try and take that trade with it. RTY range trade. Trade type is a range trade. Go down to range trade. The start time is 9:25:00. 6 ticks above, 6 ticks below. Show the range graphics on charts gets checked. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. The range ends at 9:30:00. Target 1's a 10, target 2 is a 20. The stop is 35, and target 1 stop move is break even, BE. And the range trade is in the same account as my reverse continue, labeled RTY range. Apply it and OK it and turn it on.
IEA Birrell says today's oil prices do not reflect current situation we are in. Prices could rise.
I think I'll throw a magnet on the range chart just because I can. High of day, low of day. One position, -3 target, stop of 35. Label it RTY magnet. Same account, 66. Apply it,
Bessent
OK
says
it,
global
turn it on.
imbalances build-up is the biggest risk.
Set some orders. I'm really just watching the RTY at the moment, so I'm turning the high of day, low of day off.
Bessent says the world cannot take China with $1 trillion surpluses.
Okay, so we've got RTY set up. YM, looking for a possible new high on
IMF
the
chief
YM.
economist Garancher says we are in a fluid environment on the Middle East war.
And then MNQ on the left. MNQ will put our reverse continue on the chart. Click News Trader. Change the breakout to a reverse continue.
IMF's Garancher says the IMF reference forecast has energy prices normalizing in the second half.
A couple of contracts. Target is 75, stop of 75. Label it MNQ reverse continue. and that will trade in our 68 funded account. So the MNQ reverse continues, 75 target, 75 stop. Apply it, okay it, turn it on. Then we have our MNQ reverse continue, our
IMS Garantia
breakout.
says we are in between reference scenario and adverse scenario.
Click strategies, double click news trader, leave it on breakout. I'm going to load my template. Go to template, load. I'm looking for MNQ new open.
IMS Garantia says every day that passes with more disruption in energy prices
Right click
supply
it,
means we are drifting
date it
closer to
today,
adverse scenario.
4/14, load it. All right. 9:29:59 is the activation time. Right now it's set to 0 to test the bracket. Our bracket's 35, 30 on the first. I think the market is not moving so much today. So I'm leaving my targets on the smaller side, 30 and 100. Stop is 125. BE on target, one
IMS
stop
Garantia
move.
says dollar appreciation is creating inflation pressures
It's
for
labeled
emerging
breakout
markets.
MNQ open. Right now it's on sim. Apply it, okay it, because I want to look at the bracket, the width.
Order submitted.
That's all I'm looking at.
Order
I
canceled.
like the width for trading. Back to the breakout and put the time 9:29:59. So our trade is set up. Put it on the
US
software.
Treasury Secretary Bessent
The
says the IMF
account
are working on bringing
is
Venezuela back into
68.
looking like a normal economy. IMS
Apply it,
Garantia says if
okay
the
it.
conflict were to stop today, oil shortage for the year is comparable to the 1970s oil shock from annual
And then
volume
I'm going to
benefits.
throw a magnet on the MNQ just because I can. Maybe we'll have a magnet after
IMS
the news,
Garantia
after
says the
the
global
open.
economy is much less oil
Not a
dependent than
breakout,
it was in the 1970s.
a magnet. High of day, low of day. Couple of contracts, -3 target. One contract, 10 target. Stop of 75. That's our MNQ magnet. Label it MNQ magnet. And that
IMS
also
Garantia
goes on
says in the
account number
1970s, central
68.
banks were more focused on supporting activity than price stability.
So I'm going to check every chart trader, make sure each chart trader is on the right account. 68 for the MNQ. YM, we should be on 67.
Trump to Italy's Carrera
Do we not have a
says
YM
stock buyer
reverse
Giorgia
continue?
Meloni.
I never set one up. I did program the buttons, so we can always use the buttons. MNQ magnet, turning it on. Have about 15 ticks. Fill above 25,710. I do not expect a short at the moment. Oh, I forgot to do something very important on the YM magnet. Multi-position magnet. Should be target one, stop move,
Bessent says the
break
Chinese
even.
EV is a coal-powered vehicle.
All right. Wound up with a directional change anyway, it looks like, at the moment. We could get a
IMS
short
Garantio
fill
says
on
the
the
lesson from the
YM. We
1970s
could get,
is
remember
investment
what
should be
happened
strategically planned for
yesterday?
an ongoing
We
inflation
could
problem.
get a VWAP test here. So
IMS
if
Garantio says
price
central banks
keeps
don't need to
pushing
step on the
down,
brakes right away.
we could do a quick VWAP test. Change the high of day, low of day to manual entry price, and then you target the VWAP.
Bestcent says the World Bank has made a good pivot on energy. IMS Garantio says central banks need to be attentive to signs of a price spiral.
So, Arthur, if you put an order, if you have a live order on the chart, the box that shows the number of contracts, you highlight the number, and that's where you change it. That's where you change it. So if you add a contract by selling
IMS
on
Garantio says
Chart
countries need
Trader,
to diversify their
you
sources
can
of energy
change the
through domestic
orders on the
suppliers
Chart
and
Trader,
renewables.
the number of stop and targets. Now, are we getting to the VWAP here instead of a new high? We did yesterday. If it was going to happen, I would do what I said. I would change the high of day to manual entry. Right now, all of a sudden, we've gotten much closer. We've gotten closer to the VWAP and the market open. How would you do that? Change the high of day to manual entry, target the VWAP. Move your order. There's my trade. I'm not sure I would like that trade. I think I'd rather test the high on the open. So I just wanted to show you how to do it. It uses the same trade setup we had for the high. Back to the high of day, low of day. Very easy to go back and target high of day, low of day. Right now it's kind of hasn't made a decision, right? It has not made a decision.
Iranian ambassador to Pakistan says imposing a naval blockade is an illegal and provocative act, a reckless step aimed at saving face.
Iran says imposing a naval blockade is illegal and a way of saving face. That's what Iran just said. I'm just repeating. Illegal and provocative. A reckless step aimed at
IMS
saving
Garantia
face.
says Chinese forecast is partly based on strong momentum from last year and lower US tariffs.
If you hover over the magnet box, make sure if you want it to be auto, you put it and it says auto. Okay? It must say auto. It may not say entry. If you hover over the box, it shows you your orders on the up and down side. I'll check that out, Arthur. That's interesting. I'll test it. You could be, I'm not, I don't
IMS
know everything.
Garantia says Chinese economy will still decelerate
I could be wrong.
in 2027 due to weak domestic consumption.
Uh, one of our
Garage says
YouTuber
China needs
says
to
was reading an
rebalance
article
trade
on
cycles
behavioral
from exports
economics,
towards domestic
and it
consumption.
said that traders are neurodivergent. Can someone define neurodivergent for me? Neurodivergent. Something about the brain changing directions. Yeah, John messed up. That works. John messed up. Okay, that works. I'd rather
Reuters
the
here citing a
YM
US
not
State
fill
Department official,
anything
Rubio will participate in direct talks between
until
Israel and
the
Lebanon
open.
today.
That's what I would prefer. Nothing to happen until the open. You don't have to take the trade. You could turn off auto mode until the open if that's what you want. You trade when you want, right? You can trade when you want. All right, everybody. So we're waiting on the open now. You could see our RTY range trade is starting to draw. This is difficult. Are we going to test that VWAP? Are we going to test the VWAP? Right now, we are quite a bit further from the high. Not quite, but somewhat further from the high than we are from the
IMS
VWAP.
Garantia says the Middle East war has hit Britain hard on gas prices.
It's looking VWAP-ish, isn't it? We could go back to the VWAP. I honestly don't know. We could get a gap fill. A gap fill would test the VWAP. I don't want it before the open, though. I do not want it before the open.
Besant says, repeats IMF, the World Bank should get back to basics. IMS Garantia says UK core inflation expected to be around 2.7% in 2026, up marginally over January forecasts. SIBO volatility index falls at 0.88 points at 18.24. IMS Garantia says there's little evidence on strong
Oh my
upward
goodness,
pressure
I didn't have it
in
pressed,
the
you
UK
guys. I'm
economy.
an idiot. I'm a complete idiot. When I turned it back
Tesla says
on,
the
I
IMF and
didn't
World
turn it
Bank
back
warning
on. So
fossil
I
US
will
prices are moving
trade.
forward in a positive
I'm
way.
not going to chase it now. I'm going to do the high
Overall,
of day,
demand
low of
fundamentals
day
imbalance.
still. So it didn't quite get there, right? Didn't quite get there yet, but it's gonna, I think. I blew that. I hate myself sometimes. I still think we might get a high of day or low of day. It came very close. It would have hit my first target, I believe. It would have hit my first target. I forgot to press the darn button. Make sure you're in auto mode. It would have worked. Darn it. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Too many setups. Too many setups. I just made a mistake.
10 seconds.
It won't be the last time, I promise. It will not be my last mistake. Here
Order
comes the
submit.
breakout.
Order
Market
filled.
on open
Order
imbalance.
filled.
S&P
Total,
500 buy
total,
side 125 million.
wrong
Nasdaq
side.
100 buy side 96 million.
Total
Dow
wrong
30 buy
side
side
on the
35 million.
breakout.
Mag 7 buy side 68 million.
Are we going to get it high of the day test? Maybe, but we're
IMS
too
Garantia
far
says
away.
European economies need to bring their structural deficits down.
Too far away. So it already tested it. It already tested it. Thank goodness for the RTY. That worked nicely. Let's leave our MNQ alone for the moment. That did not work. And then the question is, what's going to happen here on the YM, if anything? I'm really aggravated that I made
Wells
a
Fargo shares
mistake
down 4.3% after Q1
on the
interest income misses expectations.
YM. That was a
Citigroup shares
dumb
rise
mistake.
1.5% after
Dumb
Q1
mistake.
profit beat.
Now, you could still trade the magnet, right? If you want to trade the high of day, low of day on the
Bethel
MNQ,
says the US was trying
I'm
to
not
overlay its
sure I
baggage
want
on
to jump
Afghanistan.
in at the moment. Not with RTY selling off and YM selling off.
IMS Garantia says the IMF has done analysis of tolls for Strait of Hormuz,
I'm, go- I
but due
didn't
to tight
s-
energy supplies, burden more likely
I
to
didn't
fall to
see anything
consumers.
happen on the RTY,
JP
but
Morgan
I wasn't
Chase and
watching.
Co shares down
So
1.4%
we'll look at the
after
video
Q1
in a
results.
minute.
Tesla shares gain 2.2%
MNQ
after
looks
UBS
like it's going to
upgrades to
test the
neutral from
high. It's
south.
too late now to take the trade. It's too close. It's too close.
Ford shares up 2.8% after UBS
It's too
raises to buy
close.
from neutral.
It was a very, very whippy, bad set of fills on the MNQ.
General Motors shares
Very
rise
whippy,
2.3% after
bad set
Deutsche
of
Bank
fills,
upgrades to buy from
without a
hold.
doubt. But I'm not going to revenge trade, folks. I'm not revenge trading. I made money on
Oracle
the
shares add
RTY,
6.7% after
which is the
12.7% jump in previous session.
most important funded account at the moment. Looking to see if we're going to get are we going to get a test of the low on the YM? Are we going to get there? If it goes, I'll let it trade. I will let it trade.
BlackRock shares up 2.8% after Q1 profit rises.
When a live account freezes, I can't think of anything more frustrating in the world than having a live account freeze. It was a very fast move. Nitin, the frustration, I don't even have words. I'm getting rid of my MNQ breakout. All right. I don't need that setup. I'm getting rid of my RTY range.
According to
I'm going to leave
reports,
the
JP Morgan
RTY
has about
range for a
$50
moment.
billion in private credit exposure.
Going to leave the RTY range for the moment.
So that's JP Morgan CFO Barnum saying JP Morgan has about $50 billion in private credit exposure.
I'm thinking of taking a long on the YM, but I think I'd rather wait for the magnet, see if it keeps going. We did get a signal, but I feel like I'm chasing now. We didn't get a trade yet on the YM. It certainly looked like it could have gone lower also. That's the little bit of hesitation. Little hesitation. Not sorry. I hesitated. I think the YM is just undecided where it wants to go. The VWAP mistake was a big, big mistake. That was a big mistake. That cost
At 9:45 a.m. Boston
$225 in
time, we're
profit.
expecting comments from Fed's Goolsby on an AP News live stream.
RD, explain what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry. So the question is, are we going to get that test of the high on the YM, or is it now just a bad chase? I'm more prone to just let it get close. If it gets close, see if it explodes up. I think there's a possibility the magnet will work. If it just chops around here, I don't want to get stuck in a long that just chops around here. If I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose just on a traditional magnet, not on an early entry.
City shares trade at the highest since November 2008.
Looking to see if there's any good news. Not really seeing anything extra special in the news feed at the moment. Nothing extra special. RTY had a great VWAP signal. Not great, had a
Oil
good
prices
VWAP
extend
signal.
losses. WTI hit session low near $95 a barrel.
And then really the YM, every time I look at the
We
value
have
that
posted a
it's
live
up,
video, Fed's Goolsby speech,
it's like
link
50
on the feed
ticks.
for those interested.
It's 50 ticks. I'm thinking the YM is going to test the high now. Let's see if it does.
US stocks
Order
extend
submitted.
gains, the Nasdaq up
Order
1%.
filled. Order filled.
And there we go. So we did get our magnet on the high side. Made back a little bit under, a little bit more than, about half of what we had lost. Let's see, 140. That was a 140 trade, 140. RTY, I never set up the magnet for RTY. Um, that account, which is the best funded account, is $287 away from I think I can ask for a payout. I see what you're saying, RD. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Gotcha. RD, I gotcha. Okay. RD, you can program that inside the magnet also. If your
So
magnet
Goolsby
is
starts speaking
not
now. Reminder the video
checked,
is on the feed for those
there is an
interested.
option for nearer target inside if for some reason you couldn't program it in the control panel and you wanted to. All right. It's a very occasionally used feature. It's not a common feature. Okay. So, but it's good that it's working.
The S&P 500 Energy Index remains 3%, erases 2% throughout
Excuse
it.
me. We should get, now it's a pretty darn bullish NQ. I'm not dying to take shorts, to be honest. This market has really powered up. It's powered up. Roz, that's so frustrating. See, I'm tempted to take this short, but not that much because we're up 172. So I'm not dying. I don't know that that's a great signal yet. It could make another high. So I'm not jumping into shorts right now. I'm just not. RTY is making new, YM's making new high over and over. So we had two winning RTYs, and I forgot to turn on the orders for the VWAP test. So I only got one of them. That was disappointing. Very disappointing. Dopiness. I had two dopey trades today. One, I could have saved the original loss on the funded account, but my fingers failed to work properly, so I couldn't get my stop moved properly on that PPI abomination.
Fed Goolsby says we've been above the target for the
And
5 straight years.
the YM, I forgot to turn on the auto button. So it will not be the first mistake I ever make, the last mistake I ever make again. That much I can promise. It just won't. Now, like Roz, I'm tempted to go crazy and trade my funded account for 300 bucks. I'm so sitting on my hands and so not trading this chart right here because I'll blow this account up. Instead of asking for money, I'll blow the account up, right? I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Trade the opens. That's been my plan. Ray, what NQ breakout are you talking about?
Fed Goolsby says we have to pay attention to inflation expectations.
Ray, what NQ trade are you talking about there? That's a fake trade. That's like fake news, Ray. That's fake trade, fake news. Ray's making stuff up now. Ray, I'm joking. What trade? So Ray was down
Fed
110
Goolsby
and
says there
made
are circumstances
1,000
where
on
rates
an
can go up
NQ
and
breakout.
circumstances for a hold or decreases.
Very, very, very nice trading. You did NQ, not
Goolsby says my
MNQ. But my
concerns are
MNQ,
long term.
oh,
This is going to last.
gotcha. On the open, you mean? On the open. So I think this morning, our MNQ open, just the stop was too small. Who would have thought on a quiet day that the open fills would be one of the most difficult fills on a quiet day? It just did not fit the market profile at the time. It really didn't. So it is a shame, but I really don't think we did anything wrong. We just didn't get perfect opens this morning. I'm worried. I am worried about one of my funded accounts. Um, maybe not. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Fed
I
Goolsby
guess
says I
they're
was
okay.
optimistic about rate cuts before the war.
Um, not a great day.
The
Not a
S&P
great
500
open.
index extend gains to 0.5%.
Not a great open. Not a 100% disaster. Now let's look at the video because some people just said they had terrible RTY fills. Let's look at the video.
Goolsby says the longer this goes, if inflation stays up, that pushes cuts out of 2026.
So Ray, that's your normal NQ open trade. Is that what you're posting there? Okay.
Goolsby says if inflation doesn't
All
show
right.
improvement, time for optimism gets
Thanks.
postponed.
Thanks for the warning too. Losses can be big on anything, right? All right, let's look at this open video because let's see what happened on the RTY. My guess is that maybe we got lucky that our targets got hit because some people had frozen data. Let's take a look and see what happened. So let me render the video. We had the oil open. That was a disaster, but we're not recommending anybody take that trade. Honest, nobody should be taking the oil open breakout because it doesn't work. Then we had the US Open, and the US Opens have been very, very, very good, if not great. Every now and then, look, you get a bad MNQ,
Goolsby
but today the RTY was bad. So let's take a look. All right, let me render the video.
Fed Goolsby says we'll go to have to wait and see.
Where's my
With
video?
Goolsby saying we have to wait and see what happens with oil markets.
All right, here's the video. So let's see what happened on the RTY at the open. That'll be the chart all the
Mahmoud
way at the right.
on the Middle East, speaking on CNBC, says over the course of the week, I'm going to be seeing 3 finance ministers from the
Right here.
region.
I was worried about the RTY this morning, the quietness. But the market opened and it just shot up. I did have momentarily frozen accounts, momentarily, only for an instant, and then they were fine. Watch, you can see exactly what happened. Momentarily, orange orders of death. Now, some people had long frozen market platforms. Mine were just momentary
Fed
and
Goolsby says
everything
if
filled
services
fine.
inflation comes unglued, that would be a bad sign.
And very manageable. That was very manageable. All right.
Best sense event at the IIF ends.
So the
Goolsby says if
RTY,
saw progress on
it
core inflation,
was
would
seemed
be expecting
manageable,
it ease
but it was
quicker,
just
even
frozen
if headline
orders.
inflation was high.
Just looking at Ray's NQ market open. Now, pretty reasonable stop, Ray. When we traded the NQ a few years ago on the market open, we used an 80 stop, an 80 stop. Now, you are using 3 contracts. That's pretty ballsy. 3 contracts. So that's 750,
Goolsby says we will get inflation to 2%.
$750 minimum stop. That's if everything goes perfectly. But that's a good setup. I like the setup. I like the setup. Targets of 20 and 35. I like the setup. And you could reduce, if people want to trade that, they could reduce their risk significantly by just reduce one contract. Now the MNQ might finally have made its high, right? I'm not chasing anything else today. I'm going to bite the bullet, take my bite, take my losers, and go home. Because look, I was just getting ready to take a short there, and it would have been biting me right now. I'm not sure you want to take a short when the MNQ's up 200 points. It's not the smartest short. Even though, yes, sometimes they will work, you are better off sticking with the trend when you take signals. However, I will say that the interesting thing about signals is you can catch some great
At
retracements
10 a.m. Eastern
if you're
Time,
willing to
expecting
take the
comments
risk.
from Bank of England's Green, ECB's Makhlouf, who will be
But there's a
speaking in
better
Washington on the
time
future
to
of global
take the risk,
finance,
and let me
and
explain what
ECB
I
Mayor
mean.
speaking at the University of Virginia in
Looking at
Charlottesville.
this signal right here, both of
Bank of
these
England's Green will have
signals
a video
I
using their
consider
calendar for those
good
interested.
signals. Why? They're very close to the high of day. So that means you can have a small stop on the signal. If your signal generates when the candle is already far away from the high of day, it means your stop has to be much bigger because the stop needs to be above the high of day if it's a short signal. Okay? So I like this kind of a retrace signal because it's right at the high and it's less risk. Less risk. But I don't like taking signals 5 minutes after the signal. That's not my favorite time. That's late. That's not the time. All right. Anyway, I feel like these markets right now they're up, and the retraces are not great at the moment. So I'm going to bite my bullet today. We had made a little bit back in one of the funded accounts, and we'll just keep working. Just keep working, keep working, keep working, keep working. Don't give up, as Peter Gabriel would say. Don't give up. Don't be crazy. Don't get reckless. Don't revenge trade. If you have a bad trade, don't try to make it back in 1 second. All right. Yeah, I know, Roz. It's crappy to lose. It's crappy to lose. It's especially crappy to lose if orders freeze and the trade would have worked. That's the worst. Frustration. It's so frustrating. We never paid for that subscription, and that company is a fraud. Do not do anything with it and ignore it. Sorry, folks. Doing 800 things at once. Let me say thank you to everyone on
Turkish
YouTube.
Airlines rise
We're
as
going to
oil
close our
prices fall.
stream.
JetBlue Airways up
Graybeard, sorry
5.95%.
about the open. It was a tough
Goolsby
open
says
this morning on the
if inflation is
NQ and
4%,
the
no one should
MNQ.
be thinking rates should go back to 2%.
YouTube, thank you, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow morning, so sign back up tomorrow. Sign up for the notifications. Hit the bell. Hit the like so somebody else comes. People like us. All right. Thank you for joining on YouTube.